welcome to the new video on this channel, because now we have a useless picture that have a lot of distortion because of it was shot with an action cam. So it was not even shot with the DSLR, it was captured with an action cam, and it looks not so appealing and not so great. So first, what we're gonna do is I'm using CS6 Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom. You have a trial, or either you can subscribe yourself to Creative Cloud. Except the Lightroom, I'm not using any plugins. Everything is inside of a Lightroom. You can use CC or any other version you would like. I imported the image, I just dropped it into library panel, and now I'm gonna go to develop, because develop panel means the panel where you can edit your pictures. First of all, let's check if the white balance is okay. Use this eyedrop tool and just select anything you think in real life is white. So what is in real life white? I think the upper part of this lamp is white. So you click it, and now it adjusts the other parts of the picture accordingly to the white that you selected. This is the first thing. So the second thing is, you can see that it has a lot of distortion, and I hate distortion. So I just use this, I scroll down all the way to the lens correction. First I go to the profile. I enable profile corrections, and then I choose the GoPro. It was not shot with a GoPro, but it does the same thing. Now it changes everything I wanted. The lines are much more straightened, but I'm still not happy, because this lamp looks very twisted, and it looks like someone stretched it, and it's not a very like natural look. So I go to manual, and I use this aspect tool and make sure that it's above the 0, so it's in plus. And we just see, so it kind of returns back to its original shape, you know. And by clicking here, we can see the changes, how much improved it is. Yes, we lost parts down there, but still it's a lot of a change. And now when we've changed the distortion, we can now play much more with the actual coloring and stuff. So we're back in the first field, that's called basic. We can see that there are a lot of highlights that are blown out, so we just take the highlights all the way to -100, so they're back again on track. And we also do that with whites. We take them, you see, we take them as much as we can to the back. And now we have this, which is not appealing to me at all. We bring up the clarity, so it has like a little bit more contrast, and we add a bit of a contrast, just a slightly more of a contrast. And because of a contrast that we've raised, we need to raise up the blacks and a bit of a shadows, so we don't lose details in these windows. After that, we go to tone curve, which is for color changing and for changing the contrast and highlights and midtones and stuff. So this here are shadows, so I just erase this a bit, a slightly bit, so it's not in the corner. Then I put this a little bit of a down, so it's kind of a bleached, and then I take the middle and I put it a bit of up. You see, I put it above this line, this dotted line. Then I put a little dot here. I just click where I want the dot to be, and I take this down, because this is where the highlights are, and all the highlights are going down. Now you can see the difference. You can see the difference. It's kind of a bleached and stuff. I could do this more radically by doing like this, but I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna put a slightly above, like that. Okay, so we can see the difference. It is a difference. Now we change the RGB into the actual blue, because I want to enhance a little bit of blue. So I want to add blue into the highlights, so I click the dot here and I raise the blue in highlights. But now the whole image turns out to be blue, so I need another dot in the shadows, and I need to bring it down. so the shadows in all the other area remains the same. And I see a lot of blue in the highlights, but we can change that by going to the green section and adding a bit of a green in the highlights and the midtones. If you miss and put some dot by mistake, just rapidly fast push the dot away from this corners and it will just remove itself. So I just put the dot in the middle and I just add a bit of a green inside, but I remove it from the shadows and I add a bit more to the highlights. So you can see the difference. You can see the difference from using a tone curve. And now we go to the red panel, where we add a bit of a red to the shadows by putting a dot in the bottom left corner, and then we decrease the red in the highlights by going down, slightly down, not too much. Okay, now we see red is still very much seen in the midtones, so we decrease it a bit of down, and this is it. Brilliant. But now we go down there to the aqua and sort of a settings. We can check what our colors are. We could see that most of the buildings are yellow, so what I'm gonna do, like this, when it's on 0, turn this all the way down to -100, so it changes from yellow to something orange. I think it's kind of orange, and a little bit decreased, it's decreased the saturation, so the hardness of the actual color. And this is if it's gonna be darker or whiter, so it's gonna be dark color or a little bit more whitened. I'm gonna put a little bit more darken. And now we go to the actual greens. I want this not to be yellow, but I want this to be like going more to the aqua side. Rise up the saturation so you can see the difference. Okay, and now we have the aqua itself. Nothing changes. Okay, I'm not gonna change. Okay, we can see, just check. Yep, there's a difference. Not so yellow, it goes more not so yellow. The left side and the right side are now equal. They're both equal. You see how before the right side was a bit more yellow and the left side was a bit more red, and now we have both sides equaled using the HGSL sliders. We almost got everything, but now I'm gonna do something really drastical. I'm gonna actually decrease the exposure down like this, which is pretty much, and I'm gonna tell you soon why. And I'm gonna use the blacks and raise them a bit because I don't want to lose the details in the window. And I'm gonna go to the adjustment brush and increase a bit of exposure, like slightly, just to enhance the window. Now since I've raised the exposure, it turns out to be too much green, so I just take the saturation down. Yeah, so when we turn this, we can see that it has a lot of more details in the window. I'm done. And then I'm gonna go here to the radial filter, put this all to, by clicking the effect, put this all to 0, and I'm gonna take the effect, the radial, around this lantern, make sure it covers the whole lantern, and now I'm gonna make it look like it was lit. So I'm gonna take the exposure all the way down, all the way up to 3. I think that's like the best value, all the way up to 3. I'm gonna use a bit of a clarity, and I use a bit of a clarity. Let's see, a bit of a clarity, like 38 is okay. Let's see, contrast, not with contrast, so it looks like it's more inside and less like it's something on top of it. So it looks like the lighting is coming outside. Let's see the highlights. I'm gonna increase the highlights, and I'm gonna put a slightly more reddish. So here to the color, I'm gonna go here. Oh my god, something is okay, and I'm gonna put it more to the red. But if it's too much, I can just decrease the saturation of the color, and now we have a slightly coloring. And now let's see the difference. So now it looks like the lamp was lit, like something is actually happening. Now the lamp is lit, I actually feel that this is too much this is too much warm for the feel. I want something that's gonna be a little bit more spooky. And then I see if it's too much warm. Okay, I'm gonna undo this. Okay, I'm gonna go here to the RGB and I'm gonna decrease the red. I think there's too much red. Decrease it. When I've decreased it, decreased it because it looks like a crust. When I decreased the red, it looks way better because it kind of has this spooky vibe. But I also don't like this. Looks pretty much blown out. So I'm gonna do is take the highlights all the way down, and I'm gonna use the auto mask, and I'm gonna color in and fill in the space where the sky is. And now that I've done that, I'm gonna decrease exposure a bit, and I'm gonna click done. And now my picture is done. I can even decrease a bit more the exposure so it's kind of a more spooky and maybe less dark sky, like this. Done. And now I'm gonna show you the before and after of what a picture was. Okay, I'm sorry. Do you see this? I've just seen it. I almost made a mistake. It's a color fringing. It's, what is it called? Chromatic aberration. I just couldn't remember the phrase. It's a color fringing or chromatic aberration, whatever you use, it's fine. So just take this eyedrop over the panel of lens corrections. Just scroll up and down, you can see a lot of more tools. And just by going here to the lens corrections and using the eyedropper, you can select the fringe color and it's gonna remove it like instantly. It's not gonna have this purple glow around the edges, you know. If you see anywhere that there's still a color that he hasn't really done his job, you see that in the right side you can still see there's a lot of purple, and you can use this to, you know, tweak this around. So I'm just gonna play a bit with this to find like the perfect in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna go up. I think that's it. So I've just, if you see there's a lot of purple and something in the middle between purple and blue, then you just increase, you just take this slider, blue slider, and you just go to the left side and it just removes the color that was there. When you zoom in there's no color, but when you zoom out it may look like it's color. You can see that there is some kind of color still, but I'm gonna leave that. This is minor. I'm gonna export this into my folder where I actually have all the files, and now I'm gonna do something really cool. I'm gonna actually compare those two. So this is the first one and this is the last one. So now you can see actually which one is actually more appealing and more beautiful, the left one or the right one. Well, I think we all know the answer, that the right one looks amazing while the left one looks something that you would not want to use anywhere. The left one you would think to yourself, hideous. The right one you would think to yourself, wow, great. So thumbs up if you actually like this, because we turned something that looked rubbish into something that's really cool. And leave a like and subscribe. I'm gonna add more videos of how you can turn something like this in just like 10 minutes or whatever minutes. Like maybe you need more time, and it's easy, and we can turn any picture into something worth watching. So see you next time. Bye.